So, a question for you today. Does God have a kitchen? Well, that's an interesting question. Does God have a kitchen? Yeah, it might initially bring a smile to your face, but it opens the door to explore another facet of our wonderful Creator, something you might not think about. The purpose of this message is to delve deeper into the spiritual significance of taste and smell, those divine gifts that enrich our lives and connect us to the Creator, connecting us to Him in ways we might not always consider. The taste of the main dishes we enjoy, like beef, chicken, seafood, vegetables, fruits, and nuts, the infinite variety of herbs and spices God has provided so that we can have a virtually endless combination of tastes, smells to experience, enhancing the enjoyment of our lives. If you were to give this sermonette a title, it would be The Blessings of Taste and Smell. Does God have a kitchen? So in the book of Genesis, we read about the creation of the world, where God saw all that He had made and declared it very good. That's Genesis 1:31. Among those creations are the countless fruits, herbs, spices, which each with its own unique aroma and flavor. Consider for a moment the divine imagination that designed the sweet scent of a ripe mango, the invigorating aroma of fresh mint, or the comforting warmth of cinnamon. Now, all these are not accidents. God didn't just snap His fingers and throw together something that might taste good. He knew it would taste good because He knows us. He created us. So He put together everything that makes our life worthwhile, worth living. So these are intentional gifts from God to us. Now think about the gift of taste and smell. Our ability to taste and smell is intricately woven into our human experience. These senses are not just about survival, they are about enjoyment, community, and memory. When we savor a delicious meal, especially with brethren, family, we are participating in a divine symphony of flavors that God has orchestrated for us. Each taste, from the simplest grain of salt to the complexity of a multi-course feast, is an invitation to experience joy and gratitude, thanks to the Creator. So here's a question. What if everything tasted and smelled the same, or had no taste at all? Now here's a worst case imagination scenario. Imagine that everything you ate, no matter what it was, tasted like bland oatmeal or just tasteless paste. It's just for nourishment only. It doesn't have a taste, no desire. Think about anything that you enjoy, the food you enjoy: steak, chicken, fish, watermelon, strawberries, chocolate. What if chocolate tasted like paste? Salt, pepper, and spices added nothing to what you ate. It all tasted the same. You'd be eating solely from necessity. There's no pleasure, no enjoyment in a meal. The one good advantage I could see, there would probably be no obesity, because you would only eat just to survive, not because you enjoyed or delighted in the taste buds and the smells that God has provided. Consider the words of Psalm 34:8. Taste and see that the Lord is good. This verse encourages us to experience God's goodness in a tangible way. It suggests that our sensory experiences can lead us to a deeper understanding of His love and generosity. Now, Scripture has many references to taste. I'll just mention a few. You don't have to turn there, but feel free to jot them down, look them up. In Job 6:6, the quote is, "Can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg?" In Proverbs 24:13, "My son, eat honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to your taste." These are things that are important to God because they're important to us. Now, in many cultures, sharing a meal is an expression of love and fellowship. It certainly is in our culture. Jesus himself demonstrated this when he broke bread with his disciples. He fed not only their bodies, but their spirits as well. The Last Supper is a powerful reminder of how God uses the act of eating to draw us closer to him and to one another. Now, in the culinary arts, we see an echo of God's creativity. Chefs, like artists, combine flavors to create something new and beautiful. This mirrors the way God combines diverse elements of the world to create a harmonious whole. When we cook and share food, we're participating in the divine act of creation, reflecting God's nature. So think about your favorite dish, whatever you make and enjoy, and your family enjoys sharing it with you. In family get-togethers, our many memories come to fruition. I can think back when I was a young boy, 7, 8 years old. We would have family reunions in the summer. Came from a very large family. My mother had 8 siblings, so I had a copious amount of aunts and uncles, a very large family. So their children also were present, and we would once a year in the summer go out to the fairgrounds near our home. And this fairground area was originally set up and made available to the public by a multimillionaire back in the 1920s when $1 million was really a lot of money. And the fairground consisted of 173 acres of land. Now, to put that into perspective, that's 7,572,480 square feet. And it included ponds, picnic tables, and everything you could think of to have a wonderful day in the park, in the fairground. So of these hundreds of acres, each family member of our group would bring food and drinks, a true bounty. They would grill steak, shish kebabs, sandwiches, everything, a true cornucopia of food. They would bring galvanized wash tubs filled with drinks, covered in ice. They would throw a blanket on top. Nobody was into the coolers we have today. This would have been back in the 50s. And it was a yearly event, and even other families attended nearby in their own group. So based on this experience, I thought every family had such a great get-together where we could share the taste and smells of all the food. That wasn't the case. This was rare. It was only as I grew older, I realized not everybody shares in this bounty. But family fellowships and your favorite foods bring you together and bring great memories. Hopefully, you've had experiences of that nature in your own life. When we reflect on the gift of taste and smell, consider these blessings come to us from God, and we should express our gratitude. While it's certainly easy to take God's blessings for granted, I urge you to reflect before wielding your knife and fork next time you sit down for a meal. Every meal is an opportunity to thank God for his abundant provision. Keep in mind those who lack access to these gifts. When possible, if it is possible in your life, it's incumbent on us to be compassionate and assist in ensuring that others might experience the joy of a nourishing meal. So, does God have a kitchen? Perhaps not in the literal sense, but he has certainly endowed creation with a divine pantry overflowing with flavors and aromas that speak to his love and creativity. Now, as we contemplate our next meal, perhaps shortly after this service, take time to savor each bite and inhale each fragrance with thanksgiving, recognizing them as reflections of God's goodness and as reminders of his eternal presence in our lives. God's blessings have no bounds, and our thanks to him should also be boundless.